For those of you who do not know me, I'm Roderick Dolman. I am the brother of Victor Dolman. I want to share with you the absolute nightmare my brother has been going through for the past 14 years. It all started, at least for me, when I received a phone call from the Irvine Police Department asking me if I knew where my sister-in-law was, Jill Bertolero. And of course, middle of the day, I assumed she was at work. And then he asked, the police officer asked, where do I know the whereabouts of my brother? Of course, now I'm concerned. And I said, he should be at work as well. What's the problem? And then he began to explain to me that the vehicle registered to Jill was found abandoned with the doors wide open and with no one in the vehicle. And the child seats obviously were empty as well. So knowing that there were children involved, they were quite concerned as to what may have happened. Of course, I was into the phone call, called my brother, told him. Fast forward, we find out that Jill had staged an escape from my brother, claiming that she was the victim of domestic violence and that she feared for her life. And because at the time, I don't know if it still is, the police will favor the wife and assume the worst. And she went underground, as it were, to a battered women's shelter. And that was the last I ever saw or heard of her. Of course, none of this was true. I had actually visited Victor and Jill and their 3 children in very recent weeks and stayed for the weekend. There was no sign of abuse. There was no sign of trouble. And I know my brother, he doesn't beat women, and he certainly would not do anything to jeopardize his children. So that was 14 years ago. Since then, my brother has tried, sadly in vain, to get his children back, as Jill has managed, with the funding of her family, her father specifically, and having insight in how the legal system works, seeing that she worked for the sheriff's department or some relationship with the police department. She basically staged and convinced the police that she was a battered wife. She convinced the courts that she was fleeing from my brother, and by basically lawyering my brother, she proceeded to railroad him into a ridiculous alimony of $400,000. She showed us his annual income. Anyway, the short of it is, my brother hasn't stopped trying to get his kids back, and because of a protective order, until his children turn 18, he cannot approach, speak, or talk to them. His eldest, Lauren, turned 18 earlier this year. I attempted to speak to her. Didn't go very far, because the response through social media from her was, "I don't know you, you're not my real father," which tells us that Jill has managed to brainwash these children, sadly, into thinking that my brother's not their actual father. So whatever the trouble could be between my brother and his sister and his wife, that should be between them. To use these children as pawns is despicable. To hate somebody so much that you would damage your 3 children, you would damage your only children, their lives will be... She's put her children in grave harm emotionally. These children eventually will find out the truth. And, somebody told me that someone else was my father the entire time. And then one day I find out that my mother, who I trusted, was lying to me the entire time, you can imagine what that does to a child. So this video is for his children, Lauren, Christiana, and Carr. Your father, my brother, Victor Dohleman, has not stopped trying to get you back and to communicate with you since this all started back in 2000, 14 years ago. He has spent every dollar to his name. He has spent every borrowed dollar to his name. He has done everything. He's even violated the protective order, which cost him dearly, in the hopes to be able to speak to you children. So this is it. Your father loves you very much. You really need to listen to what he has to say. And we hope that once you learn the truth, it won't be as painful as I fear. Your father loves you very much. We all do. And we hope that with these videos and pictures and everything else that you'll be able to see that. And if you want hard evidence, more than just the pleas of Victor and everyone who loves Victor and you, it's out there. That's one thing Jill could not do, is erase what's public record. And the record will show who was telling the truth. We love you very much. We hope to see you very soon. And we love you.